Unexpected events tend to disrupt our habitual routines, push us out of our comfort zones, and cause us to ask big questions about what matters and what's worth doing. It's no wonder then that during the current pandemic, many people are rethinking their careers. COVID-19 has increased uncertainty and caught us unprepared psychologically, financially, and infrastructurally. And as psychologists have shown, threatening situations cause us to behave more conservatively. It's hard to wholeheartedly commit to reinventing your career if you're feeling risk averse. So how do we balance the need to ensure basic survival with a growing urge to do something new after the crisis has ended, if it ever ends? I've been studying career transitions for over a decade, and I've learned a few simple principles that can help you, if you're living through hard times, to continue to focus on reinventing your career. It's important to know, first of all, that there's more than one of you. The idea of possible selves is based on the thought that we all have about who we might want to become. Some are concrete and well-informed by experience, and others are vague and fuzzy. Some are realistic, while others are pure fantasy. Naturally, some appeal more to us than others. Now more than ever, the path to your next career could be indirect. To cover all of the ground you'll need to cover, it's important to let yourself imagine a diverse set of possible selves and futures. Explore as many of them as you can. Next, it's important to embrace uncertainty. The hallmark of the career transition process is the experience of liminality. Liminality is the emotional state of being in limbo between a past that is clearly gone and a future that is still uncertain. Going through it can make you feel unanchored and torn between holding on and letting go. This stage is a necessary part of the journey because it allows you to process a lot of complex emotions and conflicting desires, and ultimately it prevents you from shutting down prematurely and missing better options that may still lie ahead. Neurological studies suggest that taking advantage of liminal time to work on yourself may be more beneficial than engaging in a ton of transactional self-improvement efforts. Downtime is crucial not only to replenish the brain's stores of attention and motivation, but also for integrating what we've learned and what we're planning for the future. Start a project is another transitional aspect. So the most common path to career reinvention involves a side hustle. On nights and weekends, people tend to take courses, do pro bono consulting work, and develop startup ideas. Our current conditions of quarantine or semi-quarantine definitely limit some possibilities, of course. People have typically used contract work to explore new options, but non-essential budgets are now drying up. Nevertheless, many people are already taking advantage of the moment. You don't need to limit projects to the domain of your desired career change. Many people today are doing rewarding work and making surprising discoveries by engaging in crisis initiatives at their organizations or even in community volunteer efforts. The point is to do new and different work with new and different people, because that process represents an opportunity to learn about yourself, your preferences, your dislikes, and the kinds of contexts and people that bring out the best in you. Networking is the next topic, and it is a contact sport, which makes it hard to play in a lockdown. The golden rule of networking for career change has always been to mobilize your weak ties. That is, those relationships you have with people that you don't know very well or you don't see very often, in order to maximize your chances of learning things you don't know already. In one study, more than 200 executives were asked to reconnect with these kinds of people and use their interactions to get information or advice that might help them on an important work project. The executives reported that the advice they received from those dormant sources was on average much more valuable and novel than what they obtained from their more active relationships. And lastly, talk about it. One of the reasons potential career changes benefit so much from attending courses is that the fellow students represent kind of a ready-made community of kindred spirits to talk to. Just a simple act of talking about or telling a story about what you want to do or why you want to change can clarify your thinking and help propel you forward by committing you publicly to make a change. Any veteran storyteller will tell you there's no substitute for practicing in front of a live audience. While that can be hard in the current context of self-isolation and social distancing, with a little bit of creativity you can find ways to explain yourself out loud. Schedule walks that respect social distance with other people. Work with a career coach online or create a Zoom group that maybe meets regularly to share plans. Ultimately, when it comes to reinventing your career in this time of crisis, remember this important point. The time to get going is now, but don't do it alone. Feel free to contact us at bsdconsulting.net for your 3 30-minute introductory coaching session. Bye, guys.